joining us on the MegaCast, Cynthia Khan. She is the founder for Refuge for Nations. Thank you so much for being with us. Hey, Cynthia, I think your mute is still on. Can you unmute yourself? There you go. Thank you for
Oh,
being
okay.
with us. That's
Thank you
okay.
for having me. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
We're all learning this Zoom thing. I do it every day as well.
Yes, yes.
Tell us a little bit about your organization, just some background. How did you
Okay.
start this?
So I am an immigrant myself. I came to this country a long time ago. I've lived in 4 countries, and I have um, interacted with people from all over the world, especially women. And I always have an interest for women and in their lives and how they live their lives, because coming from Pakistan, women have been always suppressed and oppressed. So, and then living in Saudi Arabia for 10 years, I have seen the restrictions on women. I myself lived in so many restrictions. I did not drive for 10 years. I had to cover myself and wear certain clothes. So, and then, there's a huge gender segregation, and people from other countries and other cultures treat women differently. It's always in every culture there is something that is different, how women are treated. But when we came to the U.S., we started thinking that, I mean, I personally started thinking, how can I help women? Because I have more freedom here. I can do things that I want to do. And since I am in a little better position than other women, so what can I do to help them? So we started this program where we started teaching English as a second language, because that's the foremost need of immigrants and refugees who come to this country.
And so, how long have you been in the States now?
I have been, it's been long, 26 years. So I'm a citizen and we love this country, and all the people that I work with, they are from all over. I work with women from Africa, from Middle East, from Southeast Asia, from Indonesia, from many countries. So it's 25 plus nationalities that I work with, and we serve them, and we are trying to, so we started English as a second language about say 20 years ago when I first started. But then in 2013, we added more programs to it, like a sewing program, because all these women who come from other countries, they are very talented, very skilled. And one of their skill that they all have is sewing, because they have just learned it at home from their mothers or grandmothers. And this is something that is a dying thing that, before COVID happened, we were having hard time getting jobs for them, and making ourselves known to the community that, we can help and we can sew, but it was difficult. But I believe that COVID, though we don't think that this is something good, but COVID opened many doors for us. And in 2017, these women, I believe that, when these women wanted more and more jobs, we thought that why don't we start an organization, a nonprofit, where we could offer all kinds of sewing services and manufacturing services to the local businesses, local small businesses, people who design, and they don't have uh, um, the funds or the capabilities of sending their product to other countries to be made. So they need some local sewers. So that's where the concept came up, and it started in it was formalized and structured in 2017, and we gave it a name, Refuge for Nations. It's also called Refuge Nation sometime, just so that America is a refuge nation, because we bring thousands and thousands of refugees from all over the world, and we give them refuge. and we give them all kinds of services. And since I am doing this for 26 years, I know that how much people appreciate it.
I absolutely love what you are doing. And with that, the fact that in the middle of a pandemic, what you are doing is so needed, and you're able to not only help some of the ladies and the refugees that have come here, but also help our community as well. So, do you want to talk
Yes.
a little bit more about the program where you started making masks?
Yes, yes. So when COVID happened, all of a sudden, you know that everybody started making masks, and my women were already trained to do it. And another thing I want to mention before I forget is that we are, not we, I mean, they are partnering with us. So Wayne Community College Eastern Campus, we are so thankful to them that before all this happened, we already started partnering with them, and they offered a program. In fact, they designed a special program for our ladies to go and take an industrial sewing certification free of cost. So every semester, 15 women were sent before COVID happened to Wayne Community College to get their industrial sewing. So they were already trained to work on the sewing machines, and especially the industrial sewing. So when COVID happened, we immediately started making masks as well as gowns. And we worked with Isaac. Isaac is Industrial Sewing and Innovation Society in Detroit, and the founder and the people there are so helpful and so supportive of us that they gave us a huge job, because they had this huge contract through DMC to make 100,000 gowns because there was a huge shortage. So we were part of that program, and we used to make 500 gowns every week, and then thousands of masks. So that work started. And then, I had to drive throughout all this COVID personally, because I take it on myself that because I didn't want to put other people's life at risk. So I drove all the way to pick up the material, to distribute it to wherever it needed to go, and just trusted that God will protect us because we are serving the community and serving our country. And it thank God that I was safe and healthy, and all my women were safe and healthy, and we worked very hard, and we are so thankful that we had this opportunity. And then just recently, Oakland University did an article on us, and then now there is no shortage of work. People are just coming to us every week. We get new products, new designers come to us, they discuss their product with us, and we immediately start making. So it is a huge blessing, and I think that it will continue like that, because now people want to uh, create jobs here, and that's the best thing that they like about us is that the local women, we employ them and we are creating jobs for them. So the local and small businesses, they don't have to send their products out to other countries, but we can create jobs here and produce their new products. So
So, with that, Cynthia, you talked a little bit about how you're serving the community. What does this do for some of the refugees that are working for you, and how is it helping them get acclimated to living in a foreign country? Because it's
yes.
hard.
That's a very, very good question. And I'm glad that you touched it, because we do offer all kinds of other services to help them acclimate in this system and assimilate in the system. One is English as a second language. We have uh, 8 centers all over metro area where people are taught English as a second language. And now, because of COVID, we continue those classes on Zoom. So anybody that needs to take an English class, we have several classes going on, and I can even send you the schedule of it. Secondly, we help them with their health issues. We do a lot of workshops on health and nutrition. Then we help them how to, sometimes they need help for their children, how to deal with the situations at home, because the children of immigrants are between the two cultures, and it's sometimes very hard for parents to deal with those situations because they don't understand, they don't speak the language. Children go to school, they are in a totally different world, and then they come home and they are in a different culture, and they are always struggling. And my children, I have 4 children, and they had the same situation, but since when we came, they were younger, so they adjusted well, though they did have a huge cultural shock when we came, and we all had a cultural shock. But we are helping with in health and nutrition. We are helping them with their we offer all kinds of counseling and therapy. I have 3 counselors, like professionals who are working with us free of cost, who help these women, especially during COVID. People are lonely, they are going in depression. So we are trying to help them. We do regular sessions with them. If they are going through anything, we provide them services. So, and it's all happens through volunteers. So we really encourage whoever is listening this program that we do need that we do need volunteers, and kindly send, if they want to contact me to help us in any area. We need sewing teachers, we need the fabric, we need the material, or they want to help us financially, send us some donations, or they can help us in kind. So anything is helpful. And we are going to create more programs and offer more services to refugee and immigrant. We actually cater to the whole family, but mainly the jobs are for women. But if there is a male tailor or sewer who is here in this country and they need a job, they can always contact us.
And with that, Cynthia, how many women from how many different countries, and how are you bridging the language gap in this remote learning world right now?
I can't hear you. Something happened.
Okay, so with that, how many different women from how many different countries do you have, and how are you trying?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. You can't, can you hear us?
You know,
That's okay. So we seem to be having
wait a minute.
Okay.
I can't hear you. Something happened to my phone.
Okay.
Let me join again.
Okay. So we're going to, Larry, if you want to just go ahead and go back on me, we could take a quick break here and try to see if we can get Cynthia back again. But just so you guys know, obviously, we're all living in this new world of trying to do everything remotely and through Zoom and all these other different venues and avenues that are available to us to try to reach one another. So sometimes we have a few technical issues. It happens, Tyler. And I will say, I think it's better for it to happen to us here on the show, because think about it, if you're a teacher or you're in court, the courts are doing so many things remotely and now, and you have these cases where maybe your computer freezes or some situation with Cynthia. Cynthia,
can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us? Cynthia, can you hear us? So, hey, Tyler, can we maybe just try to get her on the phone?
Yeah, we can try to get her on the phone. We can take a quick break and then do that.
Okay, we just have a couple more minutes here with Cynthia Khan. She's the founder of Refuge for Nations. It's a nonprofit social enterprise that is committed to empowering refugee women across Metro Detroit. They're doing so many great things here in our area and helping the immigrant and refugee women to not only just survive, but to also thrive as they try to make a new life for them here in the United States. We'll take a quick try to make a new life for them here in the United States. It looks like, hey, Cynthia, can you hear us now? I think we're still having trouble connecting with her. We'll see if we can get her on the phone. Just a couple more minutes left here in the MegaCast. If we can't get her on the phone, we'll go ahead and move on to the next interview. But we'll take a quick break here on the Oakland County MegaCast.
Michigan, we still need to stay careful because we don't want to go backwards, back to where we started. So keep standing 6 feet apart, keep wearing a mask in public, and if you have symptoms, talk to a healthcare provider about getting tested. To move forward, let's all do our part. So stay careful. Michigan.gov/coronavirus.
Hi, I'm Dr. Faust, the Medical Director for the Oakland County Health Division. The most important thing you can do to prevent the spread of illness is to wash your hands thoroughly and often. Follow these 6 easy steps every time you wash your hands. Step 1, turn on the sink and wet your hands with warm water. Step 2, apply soap to your hands and lather between your fingers, under your nails, and the front and back of your hands and wrists. Step 3, wash your hands by scrubbing them together for at least 20 seconds. Step 4, rinse your hands with warm, clean water. And step 5, dry your hands with a clean cloth towel, a paper towel, or hot air blow dryer. If you're using a cloth towel, make sure to change it often. For handheld faucets, turn off the water using a paper towel instead of your bare hand. Step 6, if you're using a paper towel, throw it away. Practice healthy habits like washing your hands after coughing or sneezing into them to keep you and others healthy. Go to oakgov.com/health or call Nurse on Call at 1-800-848-5533 to learn more.
So we apologize for that. We were having a few technical issues with Cynthia, but we have her back on the phone now, right, Tyler?
Yes,
we do.
yes, I am.
Hi, it's Cynthia. Just to kind of finish out our conversation, we have just a few more minutes here with you on the Oakland County MegaCast. I absolutely love and admire what you and your team over there are doing. So I'm wondering, how are you managing right now? Because how many women from how many different countries are you working with, and how are you trying to bridge the language barrier in this COVID pandemic world?
Okay, that's a very, very good question. I have one woman who is from Afghanistan, and she's an immigrant, actually refugee, was brought in from her country, and her husband was killed there. So she has 5 children, and she's a very, very good seamstress because she was in Turkey before coming here. And I don't speak Farsi, Persian, which is her language. So I have an interpreter who is always there on the phone with me, and then we can talk. But then, with the Google translator, we can work it out or something. So it always helps. And I myself speak 3 languages, so that's helpful. And then I also have an Arabic interpreter, and we just somehow it works out. There are many people who don't speak English, but somehow we can find an interpreter and we work it out.
It is amazing to me because it has to be so hard to move to a foreign country. I know my sister lived in France for a while, and not being able to speak a language fluently, although when you go to some other foreign countries, so many people do speak English. But for a lot of people that come here, Americans tend to only speak one language. So it has to add to that difficulty of being able to transition into the new world and their new community.
Yes, Yes, it is very difficult, and that's why we are doing what we are doing to help them in so many different areas. And also, I want to tell you that the smile and the gratitude that we see after they are being helped is just unbelievable, and that is the reward that we get out of all this what we are doing. And I have all these volunteers who are helping us. There are people who help us with transportation, we help us with translation, help us with coming and teaching these women, because see, our funds are limited, so we don't spend too much money, but all money goes to, a majority of the money goes to the women as their salaries, and we pay them for their work, but we try to limit our overhead as less as possible.
And Cynthia, when you bring these women together to work on some of these sewing projects and other things that you have going on within your nonprofit, even if they don't speak the same language, do you find that by having one thing in common, that's sewing, it's bringing them together as well?
Yes, 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 yes. They love our sewing room atmosphere, because that's a place that they would love to come, because they get to meet people, they make friends, and they just communicate even if they don't speak the language. And the volunteers, they just love the whole atmosphere and the environment, and they become very friendly with the women. So it's a very, very neat atmosphere and environment that is created, which is culturally relevant to them, because see, these women cannot work in the regular workforce or out in the factory, where it's all there's so many restrictions that they cannot deal with. Not that there is something wrong with that, but because that's how the system works. But that's why we have created this environment for them, these sewing rooms where they can come and they feel comfortable, and they can take off their the covering that they wear on top, and they feel very comfortable in that atmosphere. And we provide them that kind of atmosphere, and that's the way we are. But again, at the same time, they also want to meet other people, and they want to assimilate in the system. It's not that we are creating a separate community for them, and I'm not for that. I want to. We are in America, and we love this country, and we want to assimilate in the system.
We are a better community when we lift one another up. And with that, Cynthia, quickly before I let you go, how can people find out more about your organization, and also if they want to volunteer or even donate?
Yes. So our website is www.refuge4nations.com. And we have a
Great.
Facebook, as well as we have an Instagram. And check us out on Instagram, because all the videos and pictures are there. The latest goes on our Instagram, refuge4nations.com. And in case anybody needs my number, it's 248-659-2063.
Well, Cynthia, thank you so much for being with us on the MegaCast, but also thank you for doing so much to help so many of these refugees and immigrants coming here to America.
Yes, and if you ever want to interview any of those ladies, I can arrange that.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me and giving me the opportunity.